Hello everybody, Cooper here, and welcome back to another episode of the AFL 23 Management Career Mode here with the Adelaide Crows. I hope you're all doing very well today. We're currently 2-3 on the season. We're not off to a bad start, but it could be a better start. Now, I'd like to get into some more matches, and then once we've done some matches, I'm going to put a little, short list together of some players that we're going to be targeting in the off-season. So we're going to do the matches first, and then I'm going to look at those players, and then I'll present them back to you at the end of the episode. So I hope that sounds like a plan. Let's get into it. First up, we've got Hawthorn in Tasmania. So this could be a very challenging match. They have gotten off to a good start, 3-2 on the season so far. We're going to pick the lineup. Tex Walker looks like he is injured. So we're going to bring Himmelberg into the full forward position. And in terms of other injuries, other players who are injured, I should say, we don't really have any other key forwards. We'll bring Fisher McCasey in. He could be the on the bench. Everything else looks to be par for the course, I should say. We might actually put Seethman on the wing. See how that plays out. But we're going to confirm that. Hopefully we can get a win in this game. We'd be dying out for a win, actually. I do like the Anzac Guernseys that Hawthorn have. They're very, very good. So it'd be very interesting to see how this match goes. But let's see. We do win by 14 points. We did have a big-ish lead at some point, but we did draw that back to only win by 14 in the end. In a very competitive game, it looks like, on paper. Looks like Murray kicked 3 goals. Saligo and Himmelberg kicked 2 each. Saligo also got 36 disposals in what was a pretty good win for the Crows. Desperately needed, but yeah, very, very good. We now have Collingwood at home. Now they're currently in 12th. We'll simulate forward now, and hopefully they will still be in 12th. Nope, they moved up to 8th, so they obviously would have won in their last match. So we're currently 3-3, as are they. So we've got the worst percentage out of any team that currently has a 3-3 record. We are tied for 7th, although we are sitting in 12th. So that is something to work on. But we should probably have a look at the injury that Tex Walker has. We'll just check that out. What has he got? He's a fitness test, so he'll be back soon. He'll be back next week. And Riley O'Brien also has a fitness test, so he should be back fairly soon. We'll go back to the next match. We'll pick the lineup. Looks like Hamill has an injury. We've got to find a defender that can fill in and do a job for us. Brody Smith is back, it looks like, so we're going to bring Brody Smith into the fold. I'm going to put Parnell in the back pocket, and Smith can return to half back. Let me just see if any other of our injured players have returned. Thilthorpe is back. He was injured for a bit. We might actually put him on at full forward, I reckon. We'll do that. Schoenberg can... He's a midfielder. I'm thinking of Himmelberg, not Schoenberg. But everybody else seems to be still on the injury list, which is fine. But we're going to confirm the lineup. We've got a big game against Collingwood. A win could do a lot for our season. They're in some good form. They've won their last couple of games, so we'll be looking to turn that around. What can we do? We get a massive win. 45 points we win by with a big last quarter. Big second half, actually. We kicked 12 goals to 5 in the second half, so a really good result there for the Crows. And we look at the best on ground results. Keys got 44 disposals. Saligo kicked 4 goals. Fogarty and Crouch kicked 3 each. Crouch also got 39 possessions. So really, really good result for the Crows there. In terms of Collingwood, Jack Crisp got 37 touches. DeGoey got 35. Bianco and Elliott kicked 2 goals each. So really happy with that performance, actually. That'll be a good percentage boost. That sees us move up all the way to 6th. On the initial ladder, we're sitting in 6th. So we've overtaken Gold Coast, who must have lost their last game. So we're now in the 4 and 3 bracket instead of the 3 and 3 bracket. So we've jumped all the way from 12th to 6th. Hawthorn head and shoulders the 4th place team, although we're not actually that far behind them on percentage. We're only 0.07 behind, so I shouldn't say head and shoulders. The Bulldogs have lost their last 2 games, but Brisbane are coming up really hot behind them, winning their last 4. So there's a lot of talent at the top of the ladder. But if we go to pick the lineup, we hopefully will have no more injuries. I should never say that again because we've gotten more injuries. But I know that Tex is back, as is Riley O'Brien, so that it will be good. Riley O'Brien can come back in. Strawn has done an okay job for now. In terms of defenders, McPherson can come in for Jones. Jones will come back hopefully soon. And where is Big Texas? There he is. We might put him on the bench for this game for Macasey. Actually, we'll put Tex on the bench and then Thilthorpe can go to the bench. That makes more sense. We probably don't need that many midfielders on the bench, but we're going to deal with it anyway. I'm going to try and find... We might put Strawn on the bench as the sub. We'll do that. So we're going to confirm the lineup. Going to move forward. It just occurred to me I didn't do last week's fixtures, so we're going to do that now. We'll have a little peek at this week's. So Port lost to St Kilda in the opening match of the round. Brisbane then beat Fremantle at home by 5. Sydney Swans beat GWS in the Battle of the Bridge by 22 points. Hawthorn beat the Western Bulldogs away by 45. North Melbourne beat Melbourne by 12 points. Carlton beat West Coast by 76 points in Perth. That is an absolute battering. Geelong beat Essendon by 5. We won our game, and then Richmond beat the Gold Coast by 16. Okay, let's move on to round 8. We have Geelong. Paddy Dangerfield looks like he's the captain at the moment, so somebody else, whoever the captain is injured. Hopefully we win this one. We lose by 17. We were up for the majority of the first half and then sort of faded away in the third quarter. Yeah, not to be, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the best on the ground. Crouch got 35 touches and 2 goals. He's probably been one of our best players so far, with Jed Bewes getting 44 touches and a goal, probably getting the 3 Brownlow votes in this one. We now have St Kilda at home as our next game. We drop all the way down to 9th, so we're very much all over the shop so far in this career. We'll go to fixtures. Brisbane beat Carlton by 24 points away from home to open up the round. Richmond beat West Coast by 4. Geelong beat us. Melbourne beat Gold Coast away by 60. Fremantle beat Hawthorn at home by 60. Western Bulldogs beat GWS by 40. Essendon beat Port in Adelaide by 12. Collingwood beat Sydney at home by 12. And North Melbourne beat St Kilda at home by 26. But if we look at the ladder now, we're currently sitting in 6th place. We are doing the best of all of the 4 and 4 teams that have an even record, by quite a distance actually. So, yeah, more than 2%. So we're doing quite well. But we just got to keep winning, and we'll be able to solidify ourselves as a top flight team. Now we're playing St Kilda. We're currently 15th on the ladder, so you'd think we are a good chance of winning. We will have a look at the line. Rochelle is injured. That is an easy fix. We will find McAdam and bring him in. Let's see if anybody else is back from injury. Actually, Lockie Murphy I'll bring in instead of McAdam. I like that a bit better. Okay, looks like I've picked the best team available. We've got a fairly solid lineup. I'm very happy with it. We're going to confirm this. We are going to move forward now. Play the St Kilda game. Simulate forward. And we win by a point. Jeez. A little bit too close for my liking. We were up by 19 points at 3/4 time. They kicked 3 goals in the final quarter to make it very, very close. But we do win in the end. That's all that matters. Crouch was really good, picking up 46 disposals. McHenry kicked 3 goals. Miller and Keys got 2 goals each.
Keys also got 34 touches as well. And then we'll skip forward, have a look at the fixtures, see what the rest of the round looks like. For round 9, Richmond opened up the round beating Geelong at home by 7 points. Gold Coast beat West Coast in Perth by 12. Fremantle beat Sydney in Sydney by 52 points. North Melbourne beat Port at home by 14, so it's always good to see Port lose. Melbourne beat Hawthorn by 39 points. Essendon beat Brisbane by 40. Western Bulldogs beat Carlton by 6. We won our game by a point. And there was another close game as well. Collingwood beat GWS by 3 points. So if we have a look at the ladder, still sitting in 5th place. There's only 3 teams with a 5-4 record now, slowly moving further and further up the ladder. But looking to get closer to a top 4 spot now. We're going to do this final game of the episode, and then I will have a tinker around with some of the potential free agents that hopefully will be joining the team soon in the off season. So I'm going to do that off screen, and then I'll come back to you with my list. We'll bring McAdam into the lineup for Berry, who is injured. I'll just quickly check if anybody else is available to come back. Does not look like it. We'll confirm the lineup. Western Bulldogs, they're top of the ladder, just by percentage actually. Fremantle are not far behind. But if we could upset the Bulldogs in Melbourne, that would be a really good result to end the episode on. It's Indigenous round, Sir Doug Nicholls round. Let's hopefully get a victory, and we do. 18 points is the margin in the end. We didn't really kick straight, but it doesn't really matter if you kick more goals than the opposition. And the stats probably show that the Bulldogs had more of the ball, if I'm not mistaken. So they just failed to convert, really? Yeah, they had a lot more of the ball than we did, so that is interesting. But Crouch had 35 touches. Saligo, Fogarty and Keys kicked 2 each. Really good result for the Crows. And we have Brisbane next. Next game. They've just lost after winning a few in a row. So we'll have a look at the fixtures for this past round. Port lose again to Melbourne by 13 points. Sydney beat North Melbourne away by 34. We win our game away. Fremantle beat Geelong by 24. Brisbane beat Gold Coast in the Q Clash by 5 points. Essendon beat Richmond by 25. West Coast Eagles beat Hawthorn by 10 away. Collingwood beat Carlton by 42. And GWS have a home game. They beat St Kilda by 10 points. Now, one thing I will do before we move forward is we have a look at the ladder. We are currently 6-4, so currently sitting in 6th place as well. So doing a very good job. So it's just Fremantle that's top of the ladder at the moment. Have we played Fremantle yet? I don't remember. But we'll go to statistics is something I want to look at for the players. We'll have a look at who's leading what. So it looks like Hugh McCluggage is leading the goal kicking so far with 17 goals this season. So far, it looks to be very, very good. Waterman from West Coast is 16. Walters has 16 from 9 games. And then a few players down the bottom have 14 and 13. In terms of disposals, Lockie Hunter has 414. Crouch from St Kilda has 413. And Toby Green has 400. Or is that Tom Green? That might be Tom Green. Has 403. Tom Green has 40 marks, and Angus Brayshaw has 40 marks. In terms of tackles, it actually is Luke Shuey that has the most tackles, followed by Paul Seedsman, who has 26. Clearances, that goes to Matt Crouch of the Adelaide Crows. He has 14, as well as Berry from the Gold Coast, who also has 14. And in terms of hit-outs, Barnett from the West Coast Eagles has 97 in 10 matches. Now, I'm going to have a quick look around at our players, at everybody's players. I'm going to be looking at the restricted and unrestricted free agents. I'm going to be compiling a little bit of a list of players that I want to sign in the off-season. I also will be looking at some trade targets. These are just players that I'm going to pick out, not at random, but I'm going to be picking out some of my favourite players, and I'll understand why I picked them. I'll explain to you why it makes sense. So I will be back very shortly. Okay, I've made a little bit of a list, everybody. So
There's players that I have either played with or against on this list. There are players that I really, really like on this list. And there's players who are South Australian on this list. So it makes sense to bring them back to South Australia to play for the Crows. And there's players who I think could benefit from a change of scenery on this list as well. So Cam Rayner, number 1 pick overall in the draft a couple of years ago, hasn't really... I mean, he is good, but he probably hasn't lived up to that level of expectation asked of him so far. So it'll be interesting to see if we would bring him to Adelaide to see what he could accomplish. So that's one player that I want to bring in. Jack Silvani, another one who is good, but could probably benefit from a change of scenery. Could also be the Tex replacement for when he eventually retires. I think getting out of Carlton, the Carlton bubble, as much as he loves Carlton, could be good for him. Lewis Young, I actually played with Lewis years ago when I was playing for Sturt. We were in the same team, so that's why I've added him to the list. He might be a handy player for us going forward. Nick Dacos is on the list for obvious reasons. I really like what Isaac Quainer did in the grand final, playing for Collingwood, coming off halfback, doing a really good job. I feel like we could use more of those kind of players. So that's why he's on this list. Owen Davey Jr. is up there in the Coleman I saw when we were going through the stats before, so I added him to the list because of that. Mason Redman, he is a free agent at the end of the year, and he is South Australian, so I added him to the list. We are in need of more defenders, so hopefully we'll be able to bring him on board. Zerk Thatcher and Charlie Ballard are both players that I played with at Sturt as well. Zerk Thatcher, or Brandon, I should probably say, he's moved to Port Adelaide in real life, so we might be able to bring him over to the right side of town and play for the Crows for this season. Charlie's obviously doing great things on the Gold Coast, so look to bring him over as well. Brodie Grundy, another South Australian. We do need another ruckman. Not that Riley O'Brien isn't good, but Brodie Grundy is probably just that class above. So we might make Riley O'Brien the backup in that case. And we'll bring him on board to play for the Crows. That would be a very interesting product. Jackson Archer, just a good young player, I think. He's played a couple of games for North Melbourne in real life, so it'd be nice to see him in the team. I know he really likes North Melbourne. His dad played for North Melbourne, but I just thought I'd add him to the list, see what would happen. Callum Coleman-Jones, or CJ as I call him, as I played with him for not only Sturt, but also for my club team, Unley, and also for my school. We went to the same school, so he's going to be another candidate for the backup ruckman sort of position, I guess. Trent Goldstein, he's my backup if Brodie Grundy doesn't work out. So I know he's a bit older, but he does feel a need at being a backup ruckman. So he basically, with the capacity he's going to be doing at Essendon like he is in real life. So he's hopefully going to be doing that for us should the plans for Brodie Grundy not go through. And then Ben McKay, we need another, big body key defender down back, and I figured he's, perfectly qualified to do that. Dylan Rioli, another sort of in the similar vein to Isaac Quainer and Nick Dacos, just a quality player off half back, or even in a back pocket if need be. Premiership player at Richmond, so he's going to be really good if we get our hands on him. Caleb Daniel, similar position, he's South Australian. So we're going to be looking to bring him across. And Timmy English from Western Bulldogs. He's my third choice should the plans for Goldstein and I forgot him. Brodie Grundy, he's right in front of me, don't work out. So that is the plan for him. So I might add more players to this list as the season goes on. But the mid-season draft is coming up soon. I don't know exactly when that takes place. It takes place on the 31st of May. So that is actually after the next game. So we'll see that in the next episode. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to watching this video. If you did like it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a lovely day. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.